From busking for coins on Canadian street corners to a $300 million empire. From millions of screaming fans to literally fighting paparazzi in the streets.
It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business.
From teen heartthrob to rock bottom and back again. Justin Bieber didn't just have levels to his career, he lived 5 completely different lives. And level 3? That's where everything went terrifyingly wrong. Most people think they know Justin Bieber's story, but when you break down his life into 5 distinct levels, you're not watching one person evolve. You're seeing 5 completely different versions of the same guy, each more extreme than the last. March 1st, 1994, a kid is born in Stratford, Ontario, to an 18-year-old single mother living below the poverty line. This is Justin Bieber at level 1. Nobody actually saw what was coming, and that's insane. Justin didn't grow up dreaming of fame like most pop stars. He grew up surviving while his mom worked multiple low-paying jobs just to keep them afloat. But Patty noticed something special. Her son had this raw, undeniable talent that seemed to come from nowhere, teaching himself drums, piano, guitar, and trumpet by just watching videos and figuring it out. At 12 years old, Justin entered a local singing competition called Stratford Star. And his mom uploaded the performance to YouTube so family could watch. That was 2007, when YouTube was only 2 years old. She kept uploading more videos, Justin singing Nayo covers in their living room, busking on theater steps for tourists who'd throw coins in his guitar case. This is crucial. Justin was building an audience before content creator was even a term, before anyone understood what it meant to grow a following online. Then someone clicked on one of those videos, Scooter Braun, a music marketing executive searching for a different singer when the algorithm recommended Justin's cover. Scooter watched this 12-year-old sing and immediately thought, I need to find this kid. It took months of detective work, tracking down his school, contacting his mom, but within weeks of flying them to Atlanta, Justin was in the studio with Usher, and at 13 years old signed a record deal with Island Records. From YouTube bedroom covers to a major label contract in less than a year, that's level 1, the pure impossible dream comes true version where everything seems magical. But when you shoot straight up that fast with zero preparation, you have no idea what that altitude does to a person, especially when that person is barely a teenager. 2009 to 2011, this is level 2, and calling it fame doesn't capture what actually happened because this wasn't just a popular artist. This was a cultural phenomenon. One Time drops, then One Less Lonely Girl, then Baby becomes one of the most viewed YouTube videos of all time. But it's not just the music, it's the hysteria that follows this teenager everywhere like a tidal wave. The term Belieber becomes a global identity for millions who dedicate their lives to following his every move, camping outside hotels for days, storming airports when word spreads about his travel. Justin is 15, then 16, and he physically cannot go outside anymore without causing riots. In New Zealand, thousands break through barriers at a mall appearance, causing injuries, forcing the police to shut it down. This happens everywhere: London, Sydney, Tokyo, and Sao Paulo. His documentary Never Say Never makes $99 million at the box office. He's on Forbes lists, performing at the White House for Obama, meeting world leaders whose children are obsessed with him.
Like you, Mr. President, this young man has many fans trying to shake his hand without permission. Ladies and gentlemen, pop music's current sensation, Justin Bieber.
His face is on every magazine, every TV screen, every billboard, generating hundreds of millions in merchandising. But level 2 is really about innocence. Justin is still the good kid who got discovered on YouTube, polite in interviews, thanking his mom and crediting God. He's living the ultimate fantasy and the world loves him for it because he hasn't been corrupted yet. Sure, there are haters, mostly older guys who resent his success, but Justin himself remains pure and humble. Justin is untouchable, and at 17, he genuinely thinks this is normal, that this is just what life is when you're successful. Nobody prepared him for what comes next, and level 3 is waiting like a freight train he can't see coming. From 2012 to 2014, Justin is in a downward spiral, and it's dark in ways that are uncomfortable to watch. It starts small. He was showing up late to concerts, getting photographed, shirtless constantly, hanging with older guys who seem like terrible influences, looking less like a teen idol and more like someone desperately trying to prove he's grown. Then March 2013, Justin gets a pet monkey named Mally, brings it to Germany, and custom seizes it because he has no paperwork. The monkey ends up in a German zoo permanently because he never claims it, and that actually happened. But then it escalates into something far more concerning. July 2013, surveillance footage leaks showing him spitting on fans from a balcony and cursing out a picture of Bill Clinton. He shows up 2 hours late to a London concert and 20,000 people nearly riot. In January 2014, everything explodes. Justin gets arrested in Miami at 4 a.m. for DUI, drag racing his Lamborghini, and resisting arrest.
Before Bieber and his friend were pulled over on Pine Tree Drive. It's the video you have not yet seen of the alleged race that led to Justin Bieber's arrest.
He's 19 and the mugshot goes viral. He's actually smiling in his booking photo like it's a joke. That same month, police raid his mansion after cameras catch him egging his neighbor's house, causing $20,000 in damage. September 2014, old videos leak showing him using racial slurs.
One less lonely. There's gonna be one less.
And while he apologizes, the damage compounds.
As a young man, I didn't understand the power of certain words and how they could hurt. I thought it was okay to repeat hurtful words and jokes, but didn't realize at the time that it wasn't funny and that in fact my actions were continuing the ignorance.
His concerts become disasters, showing up late, cutting performances short, storming off stage. Crew members quit, venues ban him, and he gets kicked out of an indoor skydiving facility. This is level 3. Justin, angry, entitled, lost, and spiraling while everyone watches in real time. He's not a bad person, he's a teenager who became the most famous person on earth with zero preparation, surrounded by enablers, given unlimited money and access to everything that destroys young people. The media tears him apart, former fans burn their merch in viral videos, and where are they now? Pieces appear while he's only 20. In interviews from this era, Justin looks empty behind the eyes, going through robotic motions of being Justin Bieber, the brand, but having no idea who he actually is. Level 3 is the villain era, and everyone thought this was the end. But Level 4 is the comeback nobody saw coming. During the 2015 to 2018, Justin disappears for real, taking time off to figure out who he is, and when he returns in November 2015, something is fundamentally different. What do you mean? Debuts at number 1, then Sorry becomes one of the biggest songs of the decade, then the entire Purpose album. Mature, vulnerable, self-aware music that acknowledges his mistakes. He's 21 now and goes on an actual apology tour, addressing his behavior in interviews with genuine remorse. He talks openly about depression, about losing himself in fame and money, about being a kid who had too much and not knowing how to handle it. He stops making excuses and owns his mistakes like an adult, which is shockingly rare for celebrities. The Purpose World Tour becomes one of the highest-grossing tours ever, and he's showing up on time, being professional, delivering incredible performances. He cries on stage multiple times from overwhelming emotion about getting a second chance. He gets heavily involved with church and talks about his Christian faith keeping him grounded, dates Selena Gomez again, then Hailey Baldwin, rebuilding his life piece by piece. But Level 4 also reveals something crucial. Justin is exhausted on a soul-deep level. In July 2017, he cancels the last 14 tour dates citing his soul and spiritual well-being. And while some criticize him, he holds firm. He chooses himself over expectations, money, everything, and that's when you realize he's learned that boundaries aren't weakness, but survival. From 2019 to present, Level 5 might be the most important because it shows what happens when someone finally figures out who they are after spending their life being whoever everyone else needed. In September 2018, Justin marries Hailey Baldwin quietly. No massive spectacle, just two people starting to build a real life. In 2020, he releases the documentary Seasons and does something revolutionary. He tells the complete truth. He discusses his heavy drug use, depression that made him not want to wake up, suicidal thoughts, and Lyme disease that went undiagnosed for years, affecting his physical and mental health. He's not making excuses, he's explaining while taking responsibility. There's a massive difference. He releases Changes and Justice, music about love, faith, marriage, and healing that's not for teenage girls anymore, but from a grown man who's been to hell and chose to climb out. Then 2022. He's diagnosed with Ramsay Hunt syndrome, paralyzing half his face, forcing him to cancel his tour. Instead of hiding, he posts a video showing his face, being completely vulnerable, saying, "I'm going to get better." And he does, through months of therapy. When he comes back, he's different. Not chasing the spotlight, performing when he wants, staying private when needed, protecting his peace and marriage like they're the most valuable things because they are. In 2024, he and Hailey announced they're expecting their first child, and he's genuinely happy in a way that has nothing to do with chart positions. Level 5. Justin is the final form, A man who was famous before he was a person, lost himself completely and fought to find himself again. He's a husband, father, believer who knows his limits and respects them. He's still creating, but on his terms for the first time ever. So, these were the 5 levels. 5 different versions teaching lessons about fame, pressure, mistakes, and redemption. From YouTube phenomenon to global icon to villain to redemption to just Justin. A guy who survived what most can't and came out still standing. The kid from Stratford who sang for coins is worth $300 million, but more importantly, he's still here, still creating, still learning who he is. That's the 5 levels of Justin Bieber, and level 5 might be the most impressive because survival isn't guaranteed.